We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there.
Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome back to Blood and Guts, HHN. And we got some exciting news for you. All the cards are on the table. With me, as always, Mad Matt. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing pretty good, Evil Adam, because as you said, we finally got the announcements that we've been waiting for.
That's right.
We can finally see the event as a whole. So now we can really get excited and really start, I know we haven't done our hype list yet, but just getting those together.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad all the cards are on the table. I'm glad that Scare Zone's houses are finally coming together. Next, we're going to get that email pertaining to the 6 house tour.
Yeah.
What we get to see. I'm very excited for that. But let's go ahead and get into some Scare Zones because we got them all, boys and girls.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we had all 5 scare zones and plus the show that has been announced. So,
Yep.
we'll go ahead and start working at the very front of where we're speculating these scare zones will be. Starting off, we have Duality of Fear. And the summarization of that is must choose your path, either the visceral horror of sinister or the unearthly terror of surreal. So, quick thoughts, Adam. What do you think about that one?
Well, I know that was Oddfellows Zone last year, and I hope that they have more props.
Yeah.
And I hope that they have more characters than they did last year.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I know it's kind of like a choose your path type of deal is what they're going to go with too. So for us, we're actually going to choose our path to go straight, like we're going to New York City,
Right.
where we anticipate Torture Fair to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that says, "Come one, come all to the Renaissance Fair. Brave the gloriously gory medieval torture devices till you are put out of your misery." So I think this one could be a whole lot of fun. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think it will be. I know that they've specified in their description, and another thing, they specified it is going to be gory.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that last year the zones kind of lacked.
Yeah.
Was blood
Yep.
and chaos. And I want to see that. I want to see torture devices, medieval Iron Maidens, what are they called, where you put your head to stocks, you know, and all that. I want to see some violence in here.
I want a turkey leg to go with it while I'm doing
They probably will have one.
But I know it seems like we're going through this pretty quickly, friends and fiends, but we actually we'll have a hot video later on where we go into more in depth with these scare zones. So for this, just more kind of touching on it.
Yep.
Should have told that at the very beginning. But moving right along, then in San Francisco, we have Enter the Bloom House. And with this one, it did not give any details or a summary of what it's going to be. So
Right.
I'm just assuming it'll be a hodgepodge of characters from their movies. And for me personally, I'm hoping to see the Grabber. How about yourself?
Yeah, the Grabber is what I'm looking forward to. Blumhouse has a shitload of movies, so it could be any of these characters. That bear from Imaginary, Megan could be in there.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's, Sinister.
Yeah.
Could be in there. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
So I just hope they don't turn it into a Crypt TV type of scare zone, but we'll get more into that when we do our breakdown of the hype up for the zones.
Okay.
So
Moving right along, then we got Central Park, and we have Swamp of the Undead, and it says in Backwater, Louisiana, you're about to be swamped by zombies born from the bodies of trespassers killed and dumped in the nearby bog.
yeah,
So I'm excited about this one. I really think I love the fact of having those zombies and it'd be foggy and dark in there, so it's perfect for those scare actors. How about yourself?
I'm excited because the lighting effects in this zone are set to different heights and levels, and you have those cool props. I think you got some footage of those cool props in there. But yeah, it's going to look really cool. And hopefully, the way they did it last year with the trees and the eyes in the trees and all that stuff, they're going to do it good in here. So it's going to be tight, it's going to be foggy, but it's going to be pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So rounding out the scare zones, we have Demon Queens on down Hollywood Boulevard, and it says get caught in an otherworldly hellscape ripped from the darkest corners of your mind, where 4 merciless queens loyal to surreal rule. So I know looks like our icons this year is going to be sinister and surreal, like I guess unofficial icons. I don't know if they're going to go as far as to make them an icon.
It might have something to do with the Otis, the big crazy archway too. Maybe that'll all tie together somewhere. You know,
hopefully, yeah, hopefully they do like more of a breakdown, like you said, to kind of tie that together. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think obviously that Hollywood's always got great spaces, so I'm sure they're going to have great set pieces in there, and for this one here, just the sound of it, I'm not overly excited, but once I see some more props come up, I think that'll be enough to pique my interest in. How about you?
Yeah, I saw some posts of, I guess it was what you would call character design artwork, where it was, sketches of the characters and kind of like some of the outfits they would be wearing.
Right.
And it's going to be pretty crazy looking if they can pull this off. I'm thinking more to like not quite Hellraiser style, but it's going to definitely have some torture, some bondage, some S&M, and some weird shit in there. So I think this one's going to be pretty crazy, and if they can really do it.
If it does happen to be that, then yes, that would be something that would go up the radar for me. So, like we said, Friends and Fiends, tune into our another episode we'll have where we break down the scare zones. We'll have like a little hype list, and we'll go into more details on these, kind of like where we rank them. So, I'm looking forward to that. How about yourself?
Yeah, the hype video. I'm really looking forward to that, and we're going to do that right probably about the start of the event. And what we'll do is we'll do our hype video where the houses fall 1 through 10 before we go, and the exciting part that I love and that you love is seeing where they lie when we get back.
Yeah, that's always
where they've changed, where they've fallen on the list. I love doing that.
So moving right along, then we have the one show that has been announced. I know we've seen some like stages set up for where maybe the Peacock Bar may have like a little action come to the event, but they haven't announced anything for it yet.
Right.
But what has been announced is the return of Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. And it's a step right up to the Dark Circus, a new nightmare that carries with a sinister curse. It's a thrilling spectacle of pyro and aerialists. So I know you're not a big fan of this show, but I mean, I know you still love that they have it, just so it gives people a chance to get out of line and actually go enjoy something else.
Yeah, I love that they have it, and I definitely respect the performers of this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Because your athleticism and your drive, that takes a lot to do that stuff. And it takes a hell of a lot of athleticism to pull this stuff off, and I respect them for that. However, a show is not really my forte. I'm more of a house and zone guy, and I like to just do house after house, zone after zone, and get as much good footage and good immersiveness as I can. But I'm excited that they have this, and what I'm hoping that they will announce as well is a lagoon show.
Yes,
I know they're still working on the lagoon, but hopefully we'll get something.
I don't have any inside sources, but I think we'll see something just because that summer lagoon show has been so well received, and people like you've seen in videos where the park is packed out, where people are coming in just to see the parades and the lagoon show. So it just makes sense for them to do it. Like I said, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
But for me, for Nightmare Fuel, I watched it for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to try my best to actually catch a viewing of it this time too. That way we can come back and report on it, and be able to speak to it. But if you're in, if you've never watched this show and you really like the Cirque du Soleil and circus aspects, this is something you would thoroughly enjoy. Now, if that doesn't really pique your interest, then something like Adam stated earlier, where you can kind of skip out on this, and maybe people will be in the lines for that, and they'll open up lines for the houses where you're not waiting as long. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So moving right along then, Friends and Fiends, for the meat of this episode, we have the final house announcement that we've all been waiting for, which is Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. And so we have Get Caught in an epic battle as Saskia Van Helsing and the Bride of Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
Go up against Dracula's daughter and her monstrous mavens. So without further ado, we actually have a very special guest with us today. And Friends and Fiends, do yourself a favor and go to his YouTube channel. It's Have a Beer with Birdie, and like and subscribe to his videos. But our special guest this evening is Birdie. So Birdie, let us know your thoughts on this house and how excited you are.
What is up, Blood and Guts champs? Yeah, man. Feels really good to be on the show with these guys. So yeah, Universal Monsters, they just announced it yesterday. I'm really looking forward to it. For me, it seems like it's going to be a continuation of Bride and Frankenstein. I have actually never seen Bride of Frankenstein, the house. What did you guys think of it?
Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Bertie, as far as I think it will be a continuation of the original Bride of Frankenstein house. I'm definitely sad that you didn't get to go to the first house. We were lucky that we got to go, and that was one of our favorite years because
That was a great year.
it sucked that it was a COVID year, but I mean, it made for the lines and like the
That-
park to be like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
not
house
bad.
was awesome. I mean, when you walk in and the castle's crumbling and she's trying to lift the
Yeah.
beam off of them, and so many,
oh, so awesome.
so many good elements in that house, and it just had that gothic feel. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. I will say the sets, the actors in that house, they just killed it. So
Yeah.
if it is and happens to be a continuation,
Mhm.
then I'm all for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I said, I think there's a lot of places they can go with this, and I know they're doing that little aspect where the continuation is with Van Helsing's daughter and that good jazz. But if it's a continuation of the story, they've always knocked out of the park all the monster houses. So for that,
Yeah.
I am excited. So, Bertie, let me know what do you think about the characters that are involved in this continuation? Are you excited, and what do you think about them?
Yeah, totally. I think it's going to be a continuation of Bride of Frankenstein. What I find very interesting is the whole Van Helsing thing, man. You know, I think to me this feels more like a family, like the continuation of their family feud. If people don't know, Van Helsing is a famous vampire hunter, and I guess his ultimate thing was to take out Frankenstein. I'm sorry, not Frankenstein. Excuse me, champs. Blood and Guts champs, Dracula. So it's going to be interesting, like how they're going to weave, you know, the first, you know, bride, that story, and her story. So what do you guys think about that? How do you think they're going to weave the stories together?
Yeah, we couldn't agree more. I'm very excited, like about having Van Helsing's granddaughter in it and Dracula's daughter and the bride. I think it really opens it up. I almost like to see. I know Abigail recently come out, and if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to skip ahead in the video, so you avoid spoilers. So in that movie,
There it is.
it's actually a remake of Dracula's daughter. So it would have been so awesome if they would have had her at some point. But I know by the artwork they're not, because she's just a child, and they're actually going older with this one.
Right,
And
and
it-
they're very picky about
Yeah.
children
Right.
scenes in the houses. So,
Exactly.
of course.
So for that, I can still get over because the artwork that we've seen looks really amazing. As far as these characters go, I know you got a little bit behind the scenes, like how it's going to tie in with the new park. So if you don't mind delving a little bit into that for us.
Yeah. It's a Well, it's like what they're doing with Epic, and the big monsters house in Epic is going to have Frankenstein's daughter trying to bring them back, and something along the lines of, you know, Van Helsing's daughter is going to be in it. So they're trying to tie these universes together with Epic and Horror Nights, and it might work, and it might be pretty cool. But also in those other the cliff notes that Universal gave, it said that there was going to be a she-wolf and a female mummy as well.
Right.
So they're going to be battling. So you're going to get several monsters. You'll probably get another creature nod as well, which I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like speaking on Epic, I cannot wait for that Monsters Land to actually come about.
Oh yeah.
And just like everything that
That's
you did
gonna be
mention,
crazy.
oh, it's going to be crazy. And so that's why I'm hoping to see with this house. Like I know they're trying to have the old generation and then have something for the new generation of kids to latch on to. I personally would love to see more of the classics. I know they've had their time in the park, but I would still love to see, because now they may have been a Van Helsing in an older house in the past, and I just missed out on it, and like it's
I
slipping my
don't
mind.
think so.
But if they hadn't, I would love to see Van Helsing first, and then have them bridge that gap as far as the continuation of the story goes.
Right.
But that's not something that's actually going to bring this down for me, because I have total faith in Universal. Like I said, because last year's house was your favorite house.
That
And,
that was my favorite of
And
last year.
it was my second, and
Yeah.
then the year before that, the Monsters House was my second favorite, if I recall correctly. It may have been third, but
Legends collide. Yeah.
yeah, but their Monsters House is always really high on my list. So.
Oh yeah, and especially if they put it. I don't remember where it falls. Let us know, friends and fiends. We can look back on the map which tent this is
Yeah, I
going to
can't
be
remember
in.
either.
But if it's in one of the big new tents, then they're going to play around with some epic. I believe they're going to make this thing crazy, because they know they're bridging this with the Epic universe.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna go all out with this one.
So with that being said, let's kick it back to our friend Birdie. Birdie, what do you think about the artwork as far as the promotional material for this house, and what do you think about possible settings?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. You know, what I really like is the artwork. I think it looks, if it's telling, you know, about this house, it's probably going to be old style Gothic. I like to see some, I mean, is it going to be just in the castle? You know, these are questions that we're not going to know until opening night, which, by the way, I will be out there all 3 days, or as we call it, opening weekend. So I will be out there all 3 days. I'm hoping you guys make it. But yeah, it's, you know, a lot of questions are going to be answered. Like I said, from looking at that poster, it looks like it's going to take place a lot in a Gothic mansion, which I'm totally stoked about. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? You know, I love to hear what you guys have to say.
Hey, we appreciate that, Birdie. And yeah, I definitely love the insight on that. I couldn't agree more. I do love the artwork myself. I love the Gothic tones.
Yep.
And I do think Birdie's correct. I think we'll actually see this set up in a mansion as well. But kind of alluding to what you were speaking earlier with the backstories for Epic, if they do have that she-wolf in there, I'd love to see a forest setting too, maybe before you get into a castle.
Like you're going through a forest and there's a wolf, and then you kind of get in the castle or a mansion,
Right.
Or even if it's a big huge mansion that kind of looks like a castle. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Just as long as it's
As long as
doing
I'm
that
in the
old
woods
school
of
style.
Transylvania and then we see castles, I mean, if you do that, I'm gonna be happy because
Right.
that's exactly what I love to see. Because I love I love Legends Collide, but I hated that Egyptian setting. Like I really want to see the
It
castles.
didn't hit on much for me. I want to see forests and castles, and I want to see, like, imagine the movie Wolfman.
Yeah.
With Lon Chaney.
You got that fog rolling
That's
over.
what I want to see, but in a tent built on a huge scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it's going to be pretty good.
yeah,
So,
I'm very excited. I'm excited for the event as a whole. So, let us know, friends and fiends. Like, leave in the comments. Are you excited for this house? Like I said, I know we're excited, and I'm excited for the event as a whole. Let us know what houses you're anticipating the most. You're most excited for. Let us know what house you're least excited for, because we love to hear that.
That's right. And as always, remember,
Stay spooky. Like and subscribe. I will see you guys opening weekend.